Hello DWF friends, my name is Doug Gordon. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about posing and lighting. Perfect. Okay, here we are. I want to show you how to use window light. Window light is one of your best and most effective type lighting, but one of the key things is knowing and understanding how to exactly use it. Understanding perception of light, understanding broadside or short side. One of the keys here is when lighting with a woman, we want to make sure that we're always going into the face through the body of a woman. Now we all know that in this situation it's a traditional boring pose, but if we use our lighting correctly, we're going to get crisp, perfect images. So watch how I start to take this and change it into more. Watch how quickly these two standing here can change into that much more. We're going to start with a hugging picture here. And as you look at their face, notice how we're covering up the arm with the veil to start the thinning process. The next most important part is going to be the faces. Notice the difference in the quality of light on a face. If we turn just 6 inches, we now go from a broad short lid setup to a split lid setup. So we're making sure her face is going into the light and going through her dress, through the body of her. Now we're bringing him in a basic pose. We're leaning them forward, but we're bringing their eyes back to camera. Take a look. Look at the beautiful highlights, the catch lights in the eyes, looking off right above the camera, smiling, nice and happy. There's our first image. Watch the minor adjustment we make to turn it into 2. Close your eyes, beautiful. Looking straight out, Jordan, smiling. Now, you're noticing when you see my images that I'm tilting the camera to the groom, which is ultimately raising him up, making him more powerful and stronger. Ultimately, we want to try to minimize and slender as much as possible. So faces are into the light, now looking at each other. Again, for all of these, the camera is tilted to the groom. So if we're here, we're tilting to the right 45 degrees, which is ultimately angling him up. Okay? Now from here, they're both in a profile. Look at her eyes, and she looks into his eyes. Watch the adjustment when her eyes go to the forehead, smiling. You see how they open up nice and wide? Now here, we turn her head back. Nose to the cheek, take a look, keeping the face in the direction of light, looking for the catch light in the eye, looking for no sharp shadows, smiling. Beautiful. Now from here, watch this one minor change that's going to change everything. And as you can tell, I'm working in a real confined space. Trent is roughly about 5 feet away. So we're bringing the veil over the head, look at each other. Now, how do we make this magical? We're using the veil as a Gaussian blur, but more importantly, we're going to set up the moment before the kiss. Open your mouth like you're kissing. Notice how the mouth is open. Notice it's barely touching. I kind of feel like I'm invading the space here like a pervert in a bush, but that's okay. We're trying to get them all. So the first one, you notice the cropping, the off-centering, because I'm thinking of the album as I do it. Now they give a kiss, close your eyes. Now watch how we change it again and use light to perfection. We're going to unkiss, bring your head here, head back and up, bringing the veil here, he's hiding. Now from here, I'm going to use some type of overhead light, or I'm going to use the existing light. I'd use my torch light coming down on them and ultimately changing everything. Look at the blur, look at the softness. Now for all of these, I'm using my 200mm lens and I'm zoomed out to the furthest because I want to compress the background. But again, the key is the face into the light. Look at the gorgeous light. You don't realize it, but you've already seen a picture looking at the camera hugging. Then you saw 3 others in that same sequence, and now you saw 3 others. So you're already up to 7, 8 poses in a matter of seconds. That's what a wedding's about, being quick, efficient. I'm going to give you a couple of more here before we end. We're changing the sequence here. We're going to bring his hand over her shoulder. We're taking her hand from the backside. We're bringing it up. Notice the curve, both rings. Here, we're still keeping the camera tilted to the groom. Notice the veil because that's going to thin out the arm. My cropping is from here up. We're tilting the camera to the groom. Ultimately, that's angling him up and angling her down. The first one, she's looking down. The second one, we're going to bring her eyes up to off camera. Looking out here, smiling, beautiful. Now, we change our lenses. I've been using the 70 to 200 for these first sequence of shots. Now I'm going to go to the 50mm 1.2, focusing on the hands. And notice how we crop from the hands to the lips, 1.2. Then we go from here, just like this, we're leaning them forward. They're looking out up here, smiling, happy. But now I've been tilting all of them to the groom. I'm going to tilt to the bride. Notice how it angles them up completely. Now one more sequence right here. The hands here. Look at how we bring it up. Lips to the hands. She's still in a 2/3. We don't want to maul the hand. Just like that. Looking down. We're tilting to the groom. Notice the angle down. Now I would change my perspective. Rather than being where video camera Trent is, I'm going to come off to the side with the 50 and meter on the hands, cutting off the lips. There's our image. Now from here we bring her eyes up. She's looking towards you and smiling. And now notice the open crop space the camera left. That's simple. You don't realize it, but you just saw a crazy amount of poses. And that's how easy it is to do. That's just part of what I call flow posing. Quick, smooth, easy transitions. That's how you do it. You look for the direction of light, you use the direction of light, and even equally as important, you find the type of light. Whether it's tungsten, daylight, or fluorescent, you find it and match it. On behalf of DWF, I'm Doug Gordon, and I'll see you next time.